I don't really want to make videos where I just read out someone's article, but when you see how important this news is, you'll understand. Naga Munchetty works in the radio, and her show was derailed as a guest made a major on-air blunder. It's actually usually Emma Barnett's self-titled show, but Naga was stepping in for Emma Barnett, so it was Naga Munchetty on the Emma Barnett titled show. However, when she was joined on the phone by singer Lily Taylor Ward, she found the broadcast going slightly off track. Thanks to Alex Davies for reporting this. So it was a radio interview with Lily, and Naga introduced Lily after the aspiring singer, that's Lily, hit headlines for entertaining shoppers, that's other people outside her local Lidl, during the coronavirus lockdown by performing flawless opera classics. I hope she at least had a mask on. And the BBC breakfast and radio host, I think that's Naga? Yeah, that's Naga, was keen to learn more about why Lily, that's the singer, decided to take time out to perform for the public, as well as what the reaction to her songs had been like. You could say that she wasn't necessarily that keen and she was just asking because it was her job, but that's not really the point here. Let's assume she was keen. And for a while it appeared to be going smoothly, which is good. But then there was a major distraction from Lily's home, which forced her to apologize. You'll see in the headline she says, "I'm so sorry." One of Lily's breathtaking renditions was played, and then Naga introduced the budding singer, that's Lily, by saying, "What a lovely piece of music, one of my favorites." Who was singing? That was Lily Taylor Ward, that's Lily. Where was she singing? Outside Lidl in Sandicote, Derbyshire, because that's where she has a part-time job. There is no Sandicote in Derbyshire, they mean San Diego. Although she is becoming quite a sensation after entertaining shoppers every Thursday night throughout the pandemic, and then conveniently Lily weighed in and said, "Good morning, how are you? Thank you so much for such lovely words." Now, you can see where this is going. It doesn't say how Naga was, that's just left up to your imagination, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm a bit tempted by this article, but I'll stay with this one. There are pictures here to remind us what Naga Munchetty looks like, both here and here and here and they then exchanged pleasantries, which, considering how the conversation had gone so far, is just as well. Naga inquired, "So you started singing when it was the clap for the carers on the Thursday," which is a thing we've been doing in the UK, to show public support staff that we appreciate them, just not enough to fund them properly. Lily replied, "Yes, well, I did a live concert on my Facebook page as a lot of people wanted me to sing to them. And it was on the first Thursday that we started doing the NHS clap. On the very last song that I sang, I went outside and is-ung to my neighbours. I guess because it was Thursday evening, they all clapped and she took that as encouragement." I was still live on Facebook and so many people were commenting saying, "You should do this every week and dedicate your songs to the NHS, that's the National Health Service in the UK." And I thought, what a brilliant idea. Here's a picture of Naga Munchetty. But here comes the twist. Before Lily could continue with her tale, so the last thing she'd said was, "And I thought, what a brilliant idea," but before she could say any more, and here's where the broadcast goes slightly off track. A noise could be heard in the background of the call. What a blunder. This took the broadcast slightly off track. Lily admirably tried not to let the sound derail the chat, and she continued, "And I found out that, but unfortunately, it was to no avail because the sound of Lily's clock, it was a clock in the background. She had a clock in her room, a clock that makes a sound. The clock forced the guest, that's Lily, to explain where the sound was emanating from. That's the clock. So she had to disrupt the interview, and it was kind of already disrupted because of the noise. What a blunder. Disrupting the interview. Lily pointed out, "That's my clock, by the way, in the background," because it was her clock and it made a sound. And it was in the background. "I'm so sorry." And you'll see, that's the bit that made the headline. I'm so sorry. But there is more. I'm glad it was the radio because otherwise Naga's appearance might have left the viewers confused. And there was enough confusion already. Naga tried to reassure her guest, that's Lily, replying, "It's fine, it's early, you do know that." And Lily let out a laugh, and that's alliterative, because the blunder brought a temporary halt to that chat. You know, it held them up a bit. What a blunder. But indeed, the clock was early. What a blunder. Naga explained that it was only 10:56 a.m. and not 11 a.m., which is the time that clocks should make a sound. But it was earlier than that, and the clock made a sound. But luckily, Lily responded saying the clock tended to chime a little bit early. She understood what had happened there, and now we can too. Isn't it irresponsible for someone who broadcasts music from their home to have a clock that makes sounds? That is going to repeatedly interrupt her broadcasts, and she'll have disastrous situations just like this. She apologized again. "I'm so sorry." Before the pair, that's Naga and Lily, managed to gain composure and carry on with their chat. You'll be pleased to know that despite this near catastrophe, the Emma Barnett-titled show will continue weekdays at 10 a.m. on BBC Radio 5 Live. I'm sure that everyone involved in this mishap, that's Lily, has been informed of the problem. That's the clock was a bit early and makes a sound. There's some more stories down here about why you should pay too much for wine, but really, after this story, I'm pretty exhausted. That's enough excitement for this month. I'd like to thank Alex Davies and The Express for reporting the most urgent UK news and maintaining the integrity of British journalism. Please subscribe to me.